What am I doing with my life? If you're like me, you've asked this question quite a bit. In this video, we're gonna help you quiet that question, take away some of its power by taking deliberate action in your life that's gonna help you gain back some control. And it all starts with happiness. If I can change one thing in the people's lives that I work with, this is usually the place I start. Because if you're not already an optimist and you can't see that silver lining, then I try to help clear off that lens, because that's one of the most important starting points. I remember one of the first people I worked with told me that after they led with happiness as opposed to focused on success, they were able to let things kind of fall in place and things started happening for them without any extra effort. And you see it from all the greats as well, right? From Gary Vee to Daniel Kahneman, right? Two very different personalities, but agree on this. Now, before we dive in, I want to welcome you to Hack That Habit, where we help you live more effectively. Now, I know that's a crazy, difficult endeavor, so just having the courage to walk this road is commendable. Now, if you believe, like we do, that improving the world begins with improving ourselves, then lead by example and subscribe to this channel. All right, let's get into it. Do habits really make us happier? As we begin to answer this question, I want to start by creating some common ground on what happiness actually is and why it's such a worthy starting point. And for this, we get to turn to one of my favorite researchers, Dr. Shawn Achor. And please, if you haven't already seen his brilliant TED Talk, I think it's about 12 minutes or something like that. It is just a hilarious, data-driven storytelling masterpiece about the importance of happiness. So if you're in the mood to laugh and learn simultaneously, go ahead and watch his TED Talk. All right, back to our video. What is happiness? We don't have to overthink this one, all right? Happiness is feeling good about what you're doing and who you are. Dr. Achor explains it as the experience of positive emotions, pleasure combined with the deeper feelings of meaning and purpose. Okay, this part's really important. I want to hold on to that. Meaning and purpose. Now, he also says that happiness is the joy you feel striving toward your potential, and it implies a positive mood in the present and a positive outlook for the future. Okay, so I think we can all agree that happiness is a worthwhile pursuit. But why is it such a desirable starting point? Most of us are under the impression that once we become successful, then we'll be happy. And if you're into positive psychology at all, you know that's a losing battle. Because what do we do when we succeed? Well, immediately we set a new goal. We get a promotion at work and immediately look to our boss's boss. And without batting an eye, we pass a test, we want to start studying for the next one. That's how most of us operate, because that's what society tells us successful people do, right? We never settle. We're always improving, always striving for more. And according to the data, that's actually backwards, because happiness after success is the ultimate mirage, right? It never realizes. But when we lead with happiness, our intelligence increases, our creativity, our energy increase, focus and performance go up, and our stress and anxieties go down. All of these amazing, what Dr. Achor might call happiness advantages, come to life because happiness is that lead domino that's gonna help us knock down all of these other dominoes of success. Now, that's all good and fun and pretty easy to agree on, that happiness is the goal. So where do habits come in? Well, habits are already in, okay? They're always pushing us or pulling us in one way or another. I like to think of them like the invisible force that's creating the momentum of our lives. So as you can imagine, they have a pretty big impact on whether or not we're happy. They could be either pushing us towards happiness or pulling us away from it at any given moment. Now, before we get into the long-term benefits of habits in general and some specific ones that you can gain to become more happy, I want to break something down really quick. Who we are and how we feel is largely determined by what we do, the actions we take, our behaviors. And we can really arrive at behavior in two ways, either through intention and willpower or from habit. Okay, so in other words, if behavior is right here in the middle, we can either get there from intention and willpower road or by taking the habit highway. But what happens when we don't have willpower? And I'm sure most of us are becoming aware that willpower is more than just a metaphor and that we actually can run out of it. So what happens when we do run out of it? Well, that's where habits come in, because when the intention and willpower road are closed, the habit highway remains open. and it's always going to take us to behavior. So the habits we have built up largely determine the type of life we live. And again, a habit is something we do regularly that's an automatic process, so it doesn't require willpower to do. It's why you think that friend of yours never misses the gym has some sort of limitless motivation. Realistically, they've just created a strong habit, and it actually doesn't require much willpower for them to actually go. Now let's go back to our goal of this video. Why would automatic behaviors that don't require willpower be useful when it comes to happiness? Well, back to our opening question of what am I doing with my life? We can take away the power of this question through action. And it turns out that when we create a routine, a string of beneficial habits, we feel a lot more in control of our lives. And this question begins to quiet because we're able to do more and thus feel better. Really simply put, happiness is a worthwhile endeavor and habits are a great way to help us get there. Where do we start? What sort of habits do we gain? Let's go back to Dr. Achor. Pick one of these habits, whether it's gratitude, journaling, exercise, meditation, random acts of kindness, one of these 5 that are scientifically proven to make you happier. Whichever one resonates with you most, pick that and make that part of your everyday. Okay, great. You've learned to lead with happiness and even some of the habits that are scientifically proven to help make you happier. But what about actually making them happen? It's super easy to say what to do and to know what to do. But doing it is an entirely different story. Not to worry, we've got you covered. Helping others realize their best intentions is my life's passion. And I've gotten quite good at it because I understand the construction of habits and how to implement them in our lives. So when you're ready to put pen to paper and take that next step, check out the link in the description and we'll see you in there.